Welcome to Clock Management, everyone. I'm your host, Justin, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Perry.
Oh, man. It is good to be back, Justin. And, anyone who says Disneyland is the happiest place on earth clearly hasn't spent any time with you.
And luckily for all of you, you will get to spend the next hour with me.
It's very lucky.
Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Management Clock, on Instagram at Clock Management. Go to Facebook, look up Clock Management. If you have a TikTok, you could go ahead and do that too. And then also subscribe to us on YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. But then you could listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and basically everywhere else where you have podcast listening abilities.
And if you have an app or a location that you prefer to listen to your podcasts and we're not there, let us know in the comments down below and we'll get there. We will be there. We will be there for you. We're always there for you.
Right? Someone reached out to me, told me about iHeartRadio podcast. We are working on that. We will be on there in the next week.
Dude, we're good. Justin, you're good. You're good.
Thank you. You're amazing, Perry.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to state the obvious.
We're going to be doing a mock draft today. We got a bunch of people who are jumping in to do this thing. I'm excited for it. I love doing mock drafts. Helps you see how players' values change over time, which is great.
We've got other content creators. We've got fans of the show. We've got friends from our real life. It's a little bit of everything, and it'll be really fun for sure. We do have some news to cover and some news nobody cares about. It is a little bit longer episode again, so we're just going to cover some of the big points here, and then we're going to jump right into that draft. So, getting into it here, some of the news to talk about. Big signing that just came out yesterday. Carlos Hyde signs with the Seattle Seahawks. This scares me for Rashad Penny. I believe that Rashad Penny is not healthy, and that is why Carlos Hyde is being signed. They were shopping a lot of running backs. Marshawn Lynch was on their list. Devontae Freeman was on their list. They went with Carlos Hyde. I think he was probably the cheaper / safer pick, right? Marshawn Lynch is getting a little older. Devontae Freeman was more expensive. They go with Carlos Hyde. I think it's a great pickup for Seattle as a team, but fantasy-wise, they're starting to look a lot like the San Francisco 49ers backfield.
Yeah, and I know I've gotten some pushback on Twitter about this. I think it does hurt, obviously
Everybody.
Penny, but Carson as well, because Penny was not a goal line threat to Chris Carson, and Hyde is. He's a bigger running back. He's a bruising running back, and last year he had his fumbling issues, but he is less prone to fumbling than Chris Carson has been in the past, which a lot of coaches look at that when you get into the red zone. They want that big running back who doesn't fumble the ball.
Yeah. As for who I'd want on this team, fantasy-wise, it's still Chris Carson.
Yes.
But the gap is pretty narrow, actually. And I'm probably just going to avoid the backfield as a whole, which is sad because Chris Carson's been very productive in fantasy over the last few years.
Yeah, and I do think that there's going to be a bit of an overreaction on ADP. I hope so, at least. So then I can still get Chris Carson at a value.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But currently I'm not.
Yeah, if that were to happen, if Chris Carson were to fall very far because of the Carlos Hyde signing, that's great. Then I would want Chris Carson shares. But as of right now, I'm a little worried. Moving on here, this could have been in news nobody cares about. But Joe Flacco signs a 1-year deal with the Jets. Yes, that is Joe Flacco and the Jets. Those are two things that are really sad together. Joe Flacco probably won't play, right? They've got Sam Darnold there. This is just a backup quarterback. Joe Flacco, former Super Bowl MVP, looking real bad, unfortunately. Total failure in Denver last season, the Joe Flacco experiment. I'm glad it's over personally as a Denver fan. I don't think this has any fantasy impact whatsoever. If there is an impact, it's only if Sam Darnold gets hurt, and it just makes everybody on the Jets worse.
Yeah, I'm not happy or excited about this. They could have went with Cam Newton or literally anyone else, and it probably would have been better. Just no fantasy relevance unless he does step on the field. Then, like you said, just avoid everyone on that field.
Yeah. Last piece of news I want.
Start that defense on the opposite
Yes.
side.
Yes. Last piece of news I wanted to talk about here involves the Seattle Seahawks and Antonio Brown. There's a lot of rumors flowing around right now about Antonio Brown possibly signing with the Seahawks. Geno Smith just signed a 1-year deal with the Seattle Seahawks as a backup quarterback. Geno Smith and Antonio Brown are very close friends. Russell Wilson has come out to say that he would love if the Seahawks signed Antonio Brown. It could work there. It could definitely work out.
And Pete Carroll is one of those coaches that doesn't have a problem bringing in troubled players that, he thinks he can mentor.
Yeah. This could happen. There's nothing official yet, right? We'll let you know as soon as there is. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Is that all the news, Perry?
That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. We got a lot to cover today.
Yeah, I just, like you said, just covering the big points of news no one cares about. So, real quick, we got Chad Ochocinco Johnson in the news no one cares about. He went to a Florida restaurant on the first day it reopened since the whole pandemic and left $1,000 tip for the staff. I thought that was pretty awesome of him, so I wanted to make sure I covered that.
Good guy, Ocho Cinco.
Right? And this next one, I know it's news no one cares about, but Perry, I know you care about this.
Tell me.
Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the golf course. Not on the football field, guys, on the golf course. So.
This is definitely news people care about.
Yeah.
You're insulting me.
It's not fantasy relevant, though, but it's pretty awesome. It is Perry's fantasy. Perry loves
I love golf,
football, and golf. So
love them both. And they are
Peyton Manning,
Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods. This is all happening.
Yeah, you get Harry Potter out there, and Perry's like dream.
Oh my god! You put them on broomsticks, and I'm losing it.
But there's a great quote from Peyton on this. They did a Zoom call that they recorded and put out. And Peyton was saying, he said, I love the teams that we've combined because combined, Phil and Brady have 11 championships and me and Tiger have 17.
That's really funny.
So I'm rooting for Peyton specifically just because of that comment.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Peyton for sure. Peyton's a really good golfer, by the way. So.
Oh, maybe he should have played. I mean, this probably better just because name value. But I was gonna say maybe it would have been better instead of Brady if they got Romo out there.
Dude, it would have been unfair. Romo is like essentially a professional golfer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right.
Well, let's get into this draft.
Yeah, guys, enjoy.
Real quick before we get into this mock draft, I'm going to keep it super short so this episode doesn't drag on forever. But I wanted to announce the winner of the autograph, TY Hilton Jersey. Big shout out to Craig, I hope I pronounced this right, Schmucker. I'll be hitting you up shortly. Reach out to you to get your shipping address so I could send this thing out to you. But congratulations. Thank you for supporting the show. Remember, guys, just leave comments, subscribe, leave comments in our videos. You could win autographed jerseys. We'll be announcing the next one here shortly. All right, guys, we got a full draft here, and we decided to get a bunch of people in here so that way it's not just going off ADP this time, and we'll actually get a good feel for where people are drafting.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a lot of people here from the community. We got people that we've recorded with. We've got friends from real life. So all walks of life here. Really excited. Filled really, really quickly. So I just want to thank everybody that was here, and I want to thank everybody that tried to get in and there wasn't room. Don't worry, we'll do more of these. So
let's get to it.
All right. First pick.
I wonder who this could be.
Yeah.
And this is full PPR, by the way. That's how I set up the settings. So it's how it organizes the players, which means Christian McCaffrey is even higher on the list than number one.
And he goes number one. We tried to get him in the pre-draft, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Saquon number 2.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that's pretty common. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about where I would expect Saquon to go. Zeke goes number 3. This is where the questions start.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. There's a big variety of players that jump up to this area.
So Michael Thomas in a full PPR dropping to presumably number 5 is really surprising.
Yeah. We got 4 running backs in a row. But this, like, the amount of running backs this year, especially going in the first 2 rounds, is just obscene.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I agree with it, but it's crazy.
There's so much wide receiver depth this year that if you wait to go wide receiver, generally you're okay. Like you've got Alvin Kamara goes number 5. Michael Thomas still on the board.
He's gonna fall to me, Perry.
No, he won't. Because I'm picking at 7. He will not fall to you.
But I think another part of this is like as the NFL's changed, we've seen a rise in the running back by committee systems, which makes these like core running backs more valuable.
Yeah. So Michael Thomas does go off the board at number 6. Probably should have gone off a little earlier, in my opinion. So that's a steal right there at number 6. So it is to me, and at this point, I decide if I go running back or wide receiver. Davante Adams is really looking good, but I do think I want to go running back here. I haven't liked my team when I've gone wide receiver early in any of these mock drafts. So I am going to go running back, and I am going to take Derrick Henry at number 7.
We got Denny on the board. He looks like he's a Raiders fan, so
what gave that away?
He goes Davante Adams, the other guy you were considering. So that's pretty. Oh, and then Josh Jacob goes off the board. I was actually hoping he would fall to me.
Some Raiders fan Danny is
right.
Yeah, leaves Josh Jacobs on the board.
And I'm actually in the sleeper app. They have DeAndre Hopkins up here. I don't have him as my next highest receiver, but I'm also not going wide receiver here.
Right.
Just because, I mean, like for all the reasons that we stated. So I'm going with Joe Mixon here. He's a pass catching back. I think that he'll do just fine, especially in the back end of the first round. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. Man, it is so hard for me to get on the Joe Mixon train as a number 1, like a first round running back. It's really, it's hard for me to get on there because I don't know, that team.
So I would prefer to grab him in the second round, but the guy who I think is actually going to outperform him, I'm pretty sure is going to make it back to me, which is why I'm okay with with Mixon there. Nick Chubb or Julio Jones, who was the wide receiver I was alluding to when I said Hopkins actually wasn't my next highest wide receiver, goes right after me.
I would definitely have Julio Jones ahead of DeAndre Hopkins, and if Hopkins had stayed a Texan, I think that would have been a lot closer for me. But the fact that Julio Jones' situation hasn't changed at all, and Hopkins has dramatically, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's my like exact feeling on it. And I know Hopkins is a beast, but so is Julio.
I know Julio has never been bad, right? There was the old like, oh, he can't score touchdowns thing. That's not real.
Miles Sanders goes off the board. Kenyan Drake. This worked out perfectly for me because now I'm taking Austin Eckler, who is going to be my RB1.
Nice. And DeAndre Hopkins made it all the way back to you, by the way. So
yeah.
Really a good call not picking him in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about this with someone yesterday, and I said I would, like, if he fell to me at the end of the second round, that's where I would feel comfortable grabbing him.
And he goes 2-4, 4th pick in the second round, DeAndre Hopkins. So here's where I'm interested. These guys that picked a wide receiver in the first round, I'm curious where they end up going. Now, the Julio Jones team actually got Kenyan Kenyan Drake as our first running back. That ain't bad. I don't mind that at all. That's pretty good. But me picking where I am at the number 7 pick, I was not comfortable with what running backs would have made it back to me.
Yeah, that's the problem with when you don't go running back. You end up getting into like some of the deeper running backs like down there where you're not sure about their situations, like
it'll be curious to see. Denny goes wide receiver again with Tyreek Hill. It'll be really curious to see what he decides to do at running back. So it's to me here, Lamar Jackson's available. I know people would pick him here. I'm not going to. I'm not going to play that game.
That's right, Smitty.
Looking at the running backs available, I've got one guy here that I'm very excited fell to me. And I understand that people are worried about who they drafted to play with him, but I'm not. And I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I've got 2 touchdown machines on my team. Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones. Leonard Fournette goes immediately after Aaron Jones. With the rumors of Leonard Fournette like possibly being traded and all this stuff, he's moved down my board. I think he's super talented.
Yeah.
I think he's proven that he can be a pass catcher as well as a goal line guy. They didn't make it to the goal line very often last season, but he clearly could be that. It's just the rumors around the team. Clearly, either one of the parties or both the parties are unhappy with him there. So we could still see some movement.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that CEH fell this far as well in full PPR. I know a lot of people are super hyped on him. I like him personally. I would have grabbed him before Fournette because of what you had talked about.
Melvin Gordon goes in the 2nd.
Wow. Joel. That's our buddy Joel, yeah. Chris Godwin goes right after. I think that's a great land, like that.
That's
that
a steal.
Got a lot of value there.
That's a steal, definitely. With Chris Godwin almost, at the back of the 2nd round. Travis Kelce goes 211.
First tight end off the board. We finally got we're changing up these colors here, getting a little diversity in the color scheme up on the board.
Yeah. I actually really like Travis Kelce in the 2nd round. Like, if you want to go that route, I think it's okay. I really do think it's okay.
Especially on the back end right here where you're about to get another pick, Chris Carson goes off the board. We just spoke about Chris Carson.
Right. A lot of questions about his health, about the health of the running backs around him.
Even about what Carlos Hyde will do to his value, because I do think that's going to steal some goal line work from him.
I definitely agree. A healthy, Chris Carson's good. It's not Chris Carson. It's the situation. So I hope that he's just as good as he was last year. I hope he gets just as much work. But at this point, we can't guarantee that.
Yeah. Kenny Golladay goes. I love that pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Kenny Golladay is your number 1 wide receiver in the 3rd round. You went running back.
And I'm interested to see what the Kelce owner does here. He's got Saquon. He's got Kelce. Is he going wide receiver?
He goes Mahomes. He goes the Kelce Mahomes stack. So he has 1 running back, Saquon Barkley. So he's very, very top heavy in his team.
That's a bold strategy. I don't dislike it. I'm actually excited to see how this team turns out.
Yeah, I am too.
George Kittle goes off the board, 2nd tight end in the 3rd round. I think that's about okay where I see
I would have considered taking Kittle if he had fallen to me. Mike Evans was the wide receiver I hoped had fallen to me.
I'm not as high on Evans. I've been tempering off him lately.
For who was available, I was pretty high on him. So Todd Gurley goes in the 3rd round. Still too early. Too early for me for Todd Gurley. It is to me, and I've got some options here. I do need receivers. So the way I draft is I always pay attention to what running backs are available, and then I'll make a decision about who I'm going to pick here. There's one wide receiver I kind of want, but there's still some solid running back depth available. So, this one's kind of tough. I think I'll go wide receiver here, and I'm actually going to take Odell Beckham Jr. over Adam Thielen.
Nice. I'm okay with that. I last year I was all out on Odell Beckham.
Well,
I'm
last year Odell was a number one or first round
Yeah,
pick.
exactly. And that's what I wanted to get at was, it's not that I hate Odell Beckham. I hated him at that value draft capital you had to invest in him. Now with him back in the third round now and his talent, I love him. Like that's a
Yeah,
great pick
I'm actually up on the Browns this year because the hype is so low. I think they'll be better than they were last year. Definitely. I
for
think that
sure.
they'll be better.
Allen Robinson goes. He's a PPR machine there with no other wide receivers. Devin
Right.
Singletary goes right after that as the next running back.
So Devin Singletary was the running back I was trying to decide between him and Odell. I was trying to decide between Devin Singletary and Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, I'm looking at the board right now. There's about three running backs that I like,
Mhm.
and there's one wide receiver that's like upcoming in the rankings that I really want, and I'm gonna get a pick again in 4 picks. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that wide receiver. I go with Ty Hilton.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and
You're a believer in
I
the health.
I am. And not just that, I think there's going to be wide receivers that come back to me just in case his health doesn't work out. That also will be my safer picks. I just think he
Yeah.
has a super high ceiling. So I'm going to reach
So
for that ceiling on him.
I want to pause here and just look at the wide receivers that are available. We have Adam Thielen, Amari Cooper, Juju Smith-Schuster, Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, AJ Brown, Cortland Sutton, Keenan Allen, all available. This is why I don't want to go wide receiver early.
Yeah.
Is I'm happy with any of these guys, and
And,
any of the guys I named, if
and
they ended up being a number one wide receiver,
I'm scrolling down even further. I mean, after Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, Tyler Lockett. Like, I'm fine with those
yeah,
guys.
yeah, any of the guys that we named could end up being a top 10, top 12 wide receiver. Any one of them. I would not be surprised if I named any one of them as a top 12 wide receiver at the end of the year. So going somebody like Davante Adams, who I know is great, there's no doubt in my mind that Davante Adams is great. I I just don't need him. Uh, Denny, who I mentioned went wide receiver, goes with a third wide receiver and Allen Robinson with his pick. So um,
Dang. That's true.
yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be a rough team, I think. And it looks like this guy's not going to get his pick in on time. Going to get an auto draft.
Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Had
brutal.
Lamar Jackson swung back to me, I would have considered it.
Yeah,
But yeah, Lamar Jackson the fourth round. I'm okay with that. Like if that's the strategy you want to take, I don't necessarily know if it's the best one, but
oh,
it's
dang.
certainly legitimate.
David Johnson was one of those running backs I was hoping to come back. He's, again, an injury risk, but in the, as my running back 3, I'm more okay with that risk than my top
Sure,
2. So
sure.
it comes back to this guy. Hopefully he gets back here to draft. I wish I knew who he was so I could hit him up. Come on, man. Uh, like usually around this round is when I start looking at, like, I'll look at the board. If there's no players I like, running back or wide receiver, then I'll start considering to go tight end or quarterback. But at this point, with those 2 quarterbacks and those 2 tight ends off the board,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
good.
going either of those.
I actually so like when those four guys, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, George Kittle, Lamar Jackson go off the board, there's always like this moment of like, darn it. But then it's like, well, thank God, now I don't have to do it. Like now I
Yeah.
don't have to make that
Yeah, now
decision.
I don't have to be sitting there looking at them like, do I do it?
Yeah. All right. So it looks like this guy is gone. So we'll take his turn to discuss. We'll take that time to chat, unless there's some way we can remove him, but I don't know if we can.
Shoot, I might just change it to a 30-second draft when it hits his turn every round.
All right, Justin. So I'm assuming one of those running backs fell back to you, the ones that you were.
Absolutely. Multiple of them did, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
even better. Let me scroll back up here.
Honestly, the top four that are available,
Yeah, I'm
I'd
actually
I'd be happy
going
with
with the
as a
one they
third.
have as the 4th ranked, which is David
David
Montgomery.
Montgomery. Okay,
Uh,
nice. As your third running back. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's going to have an expanded role this year. They keep saying, and they didn't draft any running backs or bring in any other running backs. So all signs point to they are actually going to do that, and it's not just coach talk. I believe that he's going to do just fine this year. And as my third running back, that's fantastic.
And there are two left, and then there's a tier drop off for me at that point. So I'm happy to get either one of those two. And so this Denny actually goes with Jonathan
Which
Taylor.
two is it for you, Perry? Because
it's actually Lev Bell and James Conner as my third running back. I'm okay with either of them.
I'm more Lev Bell and Mark,
yeah.
and maybe Mark Ingram, maybe not now that they brought in another running back. But James Conner is that tier down for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Mark Ingram, I'm in the camp of he has to slow down at some point.
Yeah, that's my fear with him. And he's actually dropped down the ADP a little bit here, I've noticed. He was going quite a bit earlier.
After the NFL draft and them going out and getting a running back, I think that's what did it. Lev Bell, workhorse running back. That guy's going to get the ball lot.
Our first rookie went off the board as well with Jonathan Taylor right before you. Yeah, and that's the first running back for Denny.
Yes. So with Le'Veon Bell being my third running back, I'm good with that, man. He's going to get the ball a ton. Actually, all three of these guys will get a ton of work, which I'm excited about. I'm very happy with my running backs right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here. I agree with it, but AJ Brown still being out here at this point, I know a lot of people like to reach for him and grab him just because the end of the season he had last year.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of surprised no one has done that yet, but I agree. I don't have him as high as a lot of people just because of the offense. I believe he's a tremendous talent, just their offense.
So Justin Martin goes with Amari Cooper, one of those wide receivers that we alluded to still being available. AJ Brown goes. You were just talking about him. So this is probably where we're going to see a string of these talented wide receivers, these guys that we are naming off that could end up being a number one. Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Lockett, Robert Woods. It's crazy. There's so many wide receivers. Third tight end goes off the board with Mark Andrews. I love Mark Andrews. I really wish he would have fallen to me, but
I really need to mess with the sleeper app settings more so I could learn these, because I know there's a way to set an individual to auto draft, so I could do that to the one guy who's not here. James Conner goes off the board, though. That's what that guy you're talking about as the tier break for you goes at the back end of the fourth round. AJ Brown went right before Mark Andrews, and Calvin Ridley. I love Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, man. Had Calvin Ridley fallen all the way to the fifth round for me, I would have.
And
that's auto win. My team would have been so good.
And my thing with him is he continues to get better each year. You have Julio Jones there, who is aging. I love Julio Jones. I have him as one of my top wide receivers. So don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you Julio Jones is old and don't draft him. He's one of my top wide receivers, but he is getting older, and at some point, Calvin Ridley will become that number one wide receiver, and I believe it'll be in the next 2 years.
Yeah, and I guess having the number one wide receiver on that team, it could be a lot like having the number one wide receiver on the Bucs last year. I guess you wanted Chris Godwin over Mike Evans, but if you had Mike Evans, you weren't pissed. Right? Yeah. They were still both very good and both viable.
back when Julio and Antonio Brown were on, or Juju and Antonio Brown were on the same team.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that was you weren't, I got the number 2 wide receiver. This sucks. No, you're right. I won my championship. This is awesome.
Yeah, I personally think that the gap will just get closer between the two, and I think Calvin Ridley will be the number one wide receiver some weeks. I think Julio Jones will be the number one wide receiver other weeks. I think that they'll both be pretty codependent with each other. They both need each other to be successful. But Calvin Ridley's younger, of course, like you said, Justin. So eventually he'll be the only guy. But Mark Ingram, back last pick of the 4th round.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not taking the chance on him, but this could be a good pick depending on if he starts to decline, if they feel ready to move on to J.K. Dobbins at this point. Like, I think they're ready to start splitting carries with someone else as he's aging, which I faded Mark Ingram quite a bit in my rankings, even prior to the draft, because he is on the wrong side of 30. Then once they did actually draft, he dropped even further. So because of that, like, I'm probably not making this pick, but I'm okay with someone else taking that chance. Like, I can understand it.
It'll be interesting to see if Robbie picks up J.K. Dobbins to handcuff to Mark Ingram later in the draft. All right. So we're still just waiting for him to pick. Robbie.
Robbie, come on.
Look at me, Robbie.
I think he would be happy with this pick, knowing Robbie. He actually likes Stephon Diggs. I'm not sold on it. Just on that offense, they love their defense and they love pounding the ball. So
I think Stephon Diggs is going to be pretty good this season. I don't know if I want him as my number 2 wide receiver. I think if I had him as my number 3 wide receiver, I'd be pretty happy. He falls in that like dead zone where I don't want to take him number 2, but I do want him as number 3, but I don't think he would fall to me as my number 3 wide receiver.
That's kind of my point, is like with going running back first, he's not going to fall into a position where I'm comfortable drafting him. Because he has enough upside to where he's still pretty relevant, but like he's not where I want him as like one of my 1 or 2 wide receivers, which is probably where I'm going to have to draft him.
Yeah. DK Metcalf goes off the board.
I love DK this year. Joel snagged him. Great pick.
Yeah. There's one guy here I really want to fall to me. 2 picks ago, I don't know if he will. I'd be surprised if he went to this team right here, but we'll see.
We got Cam Akers goes off the board. Rookie running back for the Rams.
Okay.
I think that's a bold pick for your 3rd running back, just because
and he's got a rookie, so he's got Clyde Edwards and Cam Akers as his number 2 and number 3 running back. There's risk there. There's definite risk there.
And like Clyde went in the 1st round, Cam I believe went in the 3rd round. But that's a lot of risk, just because he is going to be competing there with Darrell Henderson and other running backs.
Right.
I probably wouldn't make that pick with already having Clyde. I would have went with a little bit safer.
And to be completely clear, Clyde Edwards, I am not high on him just because he was a number 1 pick.
No, I am high on him. Not super high, but I'm higher on him due to the fact that he's on that high-powered offense. I don't trust Damian Williams, so I think he has
Damian Williams was on that high-powered offense last season. And was spotty at best.
That's what I'm saying. He has the perfect storm to be a great running back. Yeah. Now, will he take advantage of it? Nobody knows. So you still have that huge question mark and risk as a rookie.
I'm going to lose my pick here. No, I didn't. Okay. I thought the auto draft would take the guy I wanted. It didn't. There's a huge tier drop off here for wide receiver after these 2 guys, but I have the guy I'm going to pick higher than the next one. So I'm going to take Cortland Sutton as my number 2 wide receiver. The other guy was Deebo Samuel. I personally think Sutton's just above Deebo Samuel, but after that, there's a pretty big tier drop off for me.
Ooh, and then I love Sutton, and then Mostert goes off the board right after. Me and you have made it very clear about the San Francisco running backs. I'm not taking a risk on them here, and that's his number 2 running back. That's a
Yeah.
huge risk. And his number one's Jonathan Taylor, another rookie who's competing with Marlon Mack. A lot of risk in the running back core there.
So
His wide receivers are solid, though.
yeah, so here's what I was talking about: going wide receiver early, going zero running back essentially, right? Davante Adams, Tyreek Hill, Allen Robinson. You're really excited about that, but then your running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Raheem Mostert.
I just realized it
Huge
was
question
my
marks.
pick. So Zach Ertz goes off the board right before me, and then the guy you talked about and I talked about on my last pick made it back to me with Deebo Samuels. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and snag him. So now I feel like I got a lot more solid wide receivers with TY with that risk. Debo's a little bit safer of a pick, and it's about to come back to me here again. And I'm going to snag another wide receiver that I think is going, hopefully makes it back to me. We'll see. Oh, man. This guy again.
This guy again. Public service announcement. When you auto draft, or when you do a mock draft, don't just leave.
Yeah.
Don't just leave. Come on.
Why tell
Why
me
join?
you want in?
Yeah, why join? I'm shaming you right now.
Yeah.
I'm shaming you.
Yeah.
I hope you watch this.
I would say your name, but I don't know how to say that.
That's not-
Aiken for Acres. I get it. Apparently you
Okay.
weren't, though. You didn't get him. You auto-drafted.
Shame. Shame. This is not how you treat the management team.
Right? Unacceptable. You will be reprimanded.
Okay. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm going to leave that to Justin.
We got 5 seconds left before his pick. Just make sure at the end of the workday you come see me in my office, which is at this computer, by the way, just right here. Right where
Auto
we're at.
drafts Robert Woods.
And
Not
that's what you
bad.
get.
His team actually isn't looking too bad, except for the lack of running backs. He's got one running back, Kenyan Drake. But his wide receivers, I actually like all three of his wide receivers.
Woods is worrisome for me just because, I mean, but as your third
With
wide receiver.
with Brandon Cooks leaving,
Yeah. And
it
it's your
opens
third.
up that wide receiver core.
But I would so much rather have a running back at some point in this draft.
Yeah. At some point in this draft, I plan on a running back eventually.
And with Kenyan Drake as my only running back, I like Kenyan Drake. He's got a great opportunity, but we've seen it for how many weeks? And we've seen a lot less for a lot longer. So
Yeah.
he should. I think he'll take advantage of this situation, but you know, we'll see what happens with that. Oh, I may have my pick between two guys. I didn't think this would happen.
Nice. Nice. We're going to have to wait a full minute here.
I was like, who's this guy going to pick? Watching the clock, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's you again. I really got to figure out these settings in here for people like this. Don't be this guy.
So, Justin,
Yeah.
how's it going, man?
Not too bad. Just auto draft or just mock drafting. Hopefully not auto drafting.
I just finished the Darth Bane trilogy last night.
I forgot to send someone else a link to this. I
You're
feel
not listening to
horrible.
me.
I am. You finished the Darth Bane trilogy.
I thought you'd be more excited. You're my Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I am, and that's a awesome series, by the way. So
Very good.
There's that as well. Man, I feel so bad. This one guy reached out to me like right after our last mock draft episode. He's like, "Can I please get in on the next mock draft you do?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And I forgot to send this to him.
Wow.
And now we got a guy auto drafting.
Another wide receiver. His team's going to be terrible. And
that's actually the guy I was hoping was falling to me.
And here's the problem is when somebody auto drafts like that, you get it's not an accurate representation of how the draft works out for everybody else. that is here the whole time. All right, so Justin, you took Terry McLaurin. Kareem Hunt goes off the board. I was kind of hoping Kareem would fall to me. He did not. Denny here, who went essentially 0 running back. First 3 picks were wide receivers. Jonathan Taylor, Raheem Mostert. I would expect him to go running back here to help bolster that questionable running back roster, right? He does with Sony Michel. Oof, so many questions at running back for him. It is now my pick. I'm looking here. I'm looking at who's available. I don't need to go tight end yet. Running backs available. Marlon Mack. Questions there with Jonathan Taylor. Darius Geis, it doesn't exist to me. Damian Williams doesn't exist. Kerryon Johnson, big questions. I'm gonna skip on that for a moment here, and I'm actually gonna probably go wide receiver again. And I am going to take Devontae Parker as my 3rd wide receiver. You alive, Justin?
Yeah, sorry, I was just letting this guy know that I was apologizing to him for this, but I like Devontae Parker. That was actually one of the guys I was considering taking with my pick for a 3rd wide receiver.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten to the point with Devontae Parker where I need to accept that he could be good. It's funny as that sounds.
I hate that Darius Geis is still a possibility.
No, he's not.
He goes right after you.
Thank God he's not a possibility anymore.
Yeah, because they didn't bring in running back competition, and he is in the Hall of Fame for preseason games. Like, he's one of the best running backs to ever play preseason. He's just yet to step on a regular season field.
So Joel takes Russell Wilson. So this is the trap that for me, right? I get that it could work out for Joel, and that's totally fine.
And he
but
got
for
the
me,
DK stack.
It's the trap that I fall into of if you don't get Jackson or Mahomes, in my opinion, then you don't draft a quarterback until late in the draft. And these guys, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, this is where you're supposed to grab your depth for me, or where I would like to grab my depth. And then if I take one of these running backs, they're like, oh, he's really good. I feel like my team just never works out like I'd like it to.
Yeah, and I'm loving what's happening right now. We got tight end, quarterback. It's keeping that depth at wide receiver and running back on the board for me.
Yeah. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with quarterbacks already, and 5 teams with tight ends already. That's just the more that get picked now.
Man, the next 3
I get to go
running backs that are on the board on their rankings here. Next 4 running backs. It's funny because all of them have fallen down the depth chart due to rookie running back coming into their team. You got Marlon Mack on there, Damian Williams, Kerryon Johnson, and Ronald Jones, who's immediately followed by the rookie that came in.
Right, Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, and both of us, I think, how many teams? I want to look and see how many teams don't have a quarterback or tight end yet.
I just counted them for you.
Nice. I was not paying attention to that. I was looking at these players on the board.
Just not even listening to me. You guys all hear this?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Come on, Loans. You got a pretty solid team. Don't mess it up with the auto pick.
AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green it is.
Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift. That could be really good.
Did yours pick a person for him?
Yeah, AJ Green.
Oh. Mine still just says time's up.
Robbie Anderson goes with Jarvis Landry and Josh Allen on the turn. So again, it's like in my opinion, why take Josh Allen here, right? I get that he's good. I totally get that he's good. But if I pull up the quarterbacks, we got Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Drew Lock, all available.
And he does hit J.K. Dobbins on the back end, which means Robbie missed on J.K. Dobbins, who I think he should have taken instead of Josh Allen right there.
Absolutely,
to
100%.
to secure that backfield.
And
Dak goes off the board with the second quarterback.
Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott. This is a one quarterback league. No super flex, nothing like that.
Yeah, this is just your standard league right here.
Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Ben Roethlisberger.
It does have Cousins. 2 flex spots, I should say. I just realized that actually, which, I mean, doesn't really change much for my draft approach.
Yeah. I do not go back up quarterback. I do not do it. I just don't do it. Drew Brees goes off the board. I'm sorry, Justin. My condolences.
No! It's because he knows me.
I would have been going for Drew Brees as well. You've got me fully on the Drew Brees train. I have grabbed onto that bandwagon and I am rolling with you now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But again, so much talent at quarterback still available. I feel like all these quarterback picks people are starting to panic now and are starting to try and pick up these quarterbacks. Justin Martin here. Let's see what he does. He already has a quarterback available. He goes with Christian Kirk.
I'm trying to figure out in the settings how to speed up or how to get to the settings to speed up the thing to 30 seconds. Or 1 minute even.
All right. So I like the Christian Kirk pick right there. It's now my pick, and I'm trying to decide here. I go with Hollywood Brown. I don't think that would be a bad choice, but only having 3 running backs at this point is kind of scary. But I really just don't want any of the guys that are available near the top there for running back. So I think I have to go wide receiver here. And I'm going to go Hollywood Brown. I'm good with that.
Yeah, not a bad pick.
I like that. In the 7th round, considering what he's shown he can do, and he's my 4th wide receiver, there is a guy that I hope swings back to me, and I'm not going to mention it now. Not until you've picked.
Twice.
Oop, sorry, everybody. Just adjusting and kicked my desk.
Yeah, destroying everything. So I am looking at the board right now, who I got available, who I have on my team. I got 3 of each.
You're in the exact same position I was. It's so funny. You and I draft so similarly.
Yeah, right. So I'm looking here. I got a couple players that I like. I think I'm going to end up going running back here. And I'm going with Marlon Mack because I believe that there can be a 1-2 punch there with him and the rookie Jonathan Taylor.
See, and that's one of the guys that it's just the questions scare me.
I'm okay with it though. I'm taking a little bit of risk with my number 4 running back. I'm ready to accept that risk though, you know?
Sure. All right. So now we get to sit here and wait for Aiken for Akers for another minute.
I'm opening Sleeper on my phone because for some reason Sleeper runs better on your phone than it does on your computer.
Because originally it was an app.
I know, but you would think that they would have adapted by now.
I don't know. I just work here. All right. So this is the point in the draft, the 8th round, where I start looking at what tight ends are available and weighing them against the wide receivers and running backs that are available. I want to get the best value clearly, right? That's what we always want to do. But I think we're at the point with tight ends where you don't just go there isn't like a clear pick.
I changed it to 32nd draft.
All right, right on. You don't need to take the best available guy according to the rankings for tight ends at this point. I think it's the time where you go out and you grab the guy that you believe in, because essentially the top 5 are gone. The top 5 are the ones that you want if you want a solid, reliable tight end. Now everything's kind of a question mark, even the top guys that are currently available. Did it pick for you? Do I need to refresh, Justin?
I'm refreshing. It did not pick. I don't know who picked.
All right. Looks like it's just saying time up. It froze for everybody.
I am fixing it.
There we go. It's fixed. 30 seconds to pick.
Okay, and there's so apparently I could just click on their pick and make it auto pick for them, which I learned that about Sleeper today. Thank you. He got Evan Ingram tight end finally. He decided to get something besides a wide receiver. Still no running backs for him. Tyler
Higbee goes off the board. So, again, this is pushing me towards probably grabbing my tight end.
I've seen a lot of, how you feel about Higbee. I've seen a lot of conflicting things from fantasy personalities here.
I'm a believer. I think Higbee will be good, especially when you're getting him in the 7th, 8th round. I think that's totally fine, right? You're not expecting Zach Ertz numbers from him.
Some people are.
I think it's possible, but I think it's foolish to expect it, right? If you expected it, you would draft him where Zach Ertz is going. Yeah. Kerryon Johnson finally goes off the board at 8. Man, how the mighty have fallen. Poor Kerryon.
Yeah, I'm actually going to grab my quarterback here now that it's gotten a little bit deeper, and I'm going to grab Tom Brady here in the 8th round. Speaking of how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, thank God. I'm so glad. After. I'm so glad that Aaron Rodgers fell right there, because I would have felt compelled to take Aaron Rodgers there, and I don't have to. Okay, Marvin Jones Jr. goes off the board. My tight end makes it to me. I'm excited about this guy. I'm going to take Noah Fant. Noah Fant is my tight end in the 8th round. I'm happy about that. This Denver team looks poised to be pretty powerful.
Yeah, we're both pretty high on Denver this year. I was actually just talking to your brother about it, and he was super excited that I was high on Denver.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to keep up with the Chiefs. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're trying to keep up with Kansas City. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they will.
I think they're obviously trying to. I
sure,
don't think they will.
Everybody's trying to. But the anemic offense that Denver's had for 5 years now, finally those days, I believe, will be over.
Michael Gallup goes off the board. Around the League messaged me, said that he is going to be off for a little bit, so until he lets me know, just auto pick for him.
All right.
And he's the one who stole my Drew Brees. Also, I mean, make sure you guys check us out on Instagram. Also, Around the League, he's super quick on breaking any NFL news on there.
James White goes off the board. It'll be really interesting to see how good James White is with Tom Brady gone. Really, really interesting.
Yeah, and Keyshawn Vaughn, speaking of Tom Brady, he's his new rookie running back there. He went right to Joel. I'm not upset about that. I think in the 8th round, that's a good value for him. He could have a pretty high upside.
All right. Loans is auto drafting as well. Darius Slayton, one of those many number 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, I think he is the front of the pack of number 2 wide. He's the only number 2. The rest of them are all number 3s.
But when you get him in the 8th round, that's great.
Yeah.
But him being your 3rd wide receiver, there's risk there.
Some.
Jerry Jeudy goes off the board. I kind of wanted Jerry Jeudy, but I didn't want to have the Cortland Sutton Jerry Jeudy stack.
I like both I like both those picks right there, Jerry Jeudy and Austin Hooper.
Yeah. Austin Hooper in Cleveland, though. I,
Oh, I'm not expecting Austin Hooper in Atlanta numbers.
right. I don't even think you're going to get close to that.
No, but that's why you're getting him in the 9th round, I think. That's why I'm
Sure.
okay with it.
Sure. That makes sense. All right. Another auto draft Maparita.
Yeah.
It looks like Loans is back. He just came back online, so that's
He
good.
just missed his pick. Poor guy. All right, I'll let that one pass, Lone. So it's acceptable. Gronk goes. That is the biggest question mark in the NFL.
And you and I have Gronk on our dynasty team, but we also have Tyler Higbee. So I think Gronk will have productive weeks. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it every week. And I do not expect the Gronk from New England at all.
Hunter Henry goes on the auto pick for around the league. I know he loves that pick, but I also like that pick. Well, if he didn't already have Darren Waller, I would say he has 2 tight ends now. But not a bad. Hunter Henry's one of those tight ends that I do target later in the drafts.
So the three tight ends that went off the board after my tight end pick are 3 guys that I didn't want to get stuck with. So I'm really happy that I went Noah Fant. And now it is back to me looking here at who's available. I think now is when I'll go with my quarterback, and I will take Matt Ryan.
I knew that's where you were going with that.
Yeah, safe pick.
Yeah, when I was grabbing Tom Brady, I looked. I'm like, there's Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan up there also. I'm like, Perry's gonna grab Matt Ryan.
I like Matt Ryan. What can I say?
Yeah, I know.
I feel like the guy doesn't get the respect
he deserves. I don't
deserves.
dislike him. Matthew Stafford, and like you said, every other year he's great.
Yeah, last year it was rough. This year he's going to be the MVP. It's just the way it works out.
It's on me now. I'm looking at wide receivers here. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot here with CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
He has the opportunity to be a number 1 wide receiver.
I don't think it's happening this year, personally. I
don't either, but he's my 5th or 4th wide receiver, so I'm like, I'll take a shot on it. He's extremely talented. It's just a matter of what else shakes out there in that wide receiver core.
Yeah, I do think CeeDee Lamb in Dynasty is an incredible pick. I think it's a really, really good pick. In redraft, there's just not room for it to happen there. I think a lot needs to go down. I think he needs to show up week 1 and be very, very productive in order for him to carve out his workload, basically. And so I just don't see it happening, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because he's super talented.
Yeah, definitely.
Darrell Henderson goes off the board.
Come on tap. You got this. Get your pick in. I got it in just before the auto with Henry Ruggs. And then it comes immediately back to him for another pick. He's got a very wide receiver heavy team as well. I think that's 5 wide receivers.
3 running backs: Nick Chubb, Miles Sanders, David
Johnson.
Still
no quarterback. That's
fine.
Yeah,
that's fine, because the rest of us went quarterback.
Yeah, everyone else has quarterback, so he could probably wait but he didn't.
Goes with Carson Wentz.
And he grabs Carson Wentz. I probably would have waited. Looking at the board, I think that's important when you're drafting. Look at the board. Everyone else has a quarterback. They're probably not getting one.
Yeah, had I gotten stuck with Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins, I would have been totally okay with that. Yeah, that would have been fine with me.
We were talking about Austin Hooper. Don't expect Austin Hooper numbers from Atlanta there. I'm going to go ahead and get Hayden Hurst in Atlanta numbers. So
there's a lot. I mean, looking at it on paper, that should work out really, really well for Hayden Hurst. And I hope it does. I really hope it does. Denny here.
Yeah, he doesn't have a tight end yet either. He takes Gesicki. That was the other one I was considering.
All right, so it swings back to me here. And now it's just kind of I'm just looking for value. I'm not loving any of the wide receiver value right now, but I do like this guy right here, Jordan Howard.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome. 10th round, Jordan Howard. When has he not been productive? I know people try and tell me that he's not a good running back, but when has he not been productive?
Yeah, and he's the starting running back there.
Yep. That's my 4th running back as well.
I'm adding some people to my queue right now, hoping they make it back to me.
All right. So an auto draft there for Jared Cook.
Oh,
The San Francisco defense goes in the 10th round.
that
Would
was
not recommend.
yeah, that was an auto for him. He's still an auto.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, poor guy. Justin Jefferson goes, which
Nice.
yeah,
I like that pick in the 10th round.
I don't like it because I just put him in my queue and I had to
Right.
scroll down to find him, and I was like, oh, awesome, he's pretty far down there. He's probably gonna make it back to me.
All right. So an auto draft here, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard. Did he end up and he
Yeah,
ends up auto drafting
his handcuff. Wow.
The guy that goes 2 quarterbacks luckily auto drafts his handcuff.
That's ridiculous.
All right. That's okay. That's okay.
All right, let's see where this guy he's auto drafting. He missed his pick last time, came back right after the auto draft.
I don't know, man. All right, Robbie. Impress
Deontay
me.
Johnson actually isn't
Impress
a bad pick though here.
Yeah, I know it's fine.
Yeah, he got lucky.
Impress me, Robbie. Let's go. You got 10 seconds.
Oh, don't disappoint. Don't. Oh no. Disappointed.
Shame.
He gets Justin Jackson. Yeah, not. I would not be happy about that.
Yeah.
And I am not happy about that as the Eckler owner.
Let's see who he auto drafts again.
No,
he doesn't.
Picked, yeah,
He takes Mecole
Hardman.
Hardman.
I would like that. A lot of upside.
A lot of upside there.
Yeah, not bad.
All right. I know who my next pick is. As long as he falls to me. And I think he will. I think he'll fall to me. Maybe. You're the only person I'd be scared taking him, and you don't get to pick before me.
Yeah, right. Michael Pittman from Indiana goes, oh, Alexander. Joel,
you snake.
Of course.
I just got Brennard.
Yeah, you did.
I just got Brennard.
Is he in our call somehow?
Joel, get out.
And we go back to around the league. Let's see if he gets a kicker. He does not. Latavius Murray.
Latavius.
I'm looking up. He auto drafted him, and he's also the Kamara owner. Sleeper might be onto something here.
Yeah, Sleeper is smarter than your average drafter.
Yeah, dang. I'm gonna have to stop using Sleeper because I don't want auto drafters doing that.
All right. It's gonna come to me. Okay.
John Brown goes off the board.
Oof, man, that just messed everything up for me. That just messed everything up. I'm running out of time. All right, I'm gonna take my handcuff in AJ Dillon. Had to reach down for him a little bit, but
yeah, I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like, I don't need him to be productive. That's not why I'm drafting him. So,
unless you need him to be productive because one of your running backs got injured, which is why you drafted him.
Right.
Oh, a little bit early for a kicker for me, Denny.
But it is Justin Tucker. Did you know that?
That's true. If you're drafting a kicker early, it has to be Justin Tucker because he's just an awesome dude.
He's really good too.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, he's just an awesome person.
Yeah.
Which is how I normally choose my kickers.
So he tweets out in his hometown where he lives. He'll tweet out, "Hey, I'm gonna go kick some balls," and a bunch of like high school kids and like middle school kids, he tweets it out to them like, "Hey, show up. You guys can go like get the balls for me, and we can like he hangs out with them. It's really cool actually. Big community guy, really nice guy. I like Justin Tucker a lot.
Yeah, I dressed up as a kid. I go there, try and hang out with them. I'm no longer allowed at the schools. It's weird.
That's for the best. That's for the best.
Danny Dimes.
Daniel Jones as the second quarterback for that team. He has Lamar Jackson.
And now we go back to on tap. Let's see what he does. He finally took a quarterback last round.
Chase Edmonds.
Oh, that's who I was planning to grab.
But you didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, he'll make it back to me. I was wrong. I was wrong. He did not, in fact, make it back to me. It's all right. I got a backup plan.
That's good. Because if you didn't, that would just mean that you're done, right?
Yeah, I just have to log off, and that's it. Terry Cohen, Mike Williams, and I'm going with Antonio Gibson, rookie running back for Washington, because they have a 70-year-old running back and a running back whose body is 70 years old. So
I was going to go with him. So all right, I pick right after Denny. I think Denny is auto drafting at this point.
Don't do it. I gave you long enough, Denny. You're auto. Oh no, he's on. He's on.
He's back.
Whew. You got 4 seconds. And he auto-picked.
Auto-picks Baker Mayfield, second quarterback. All right.
Yeah,
it
the
is
30-second can be rough. But we got to get through this thing, guys. You got to pay attention.
Now I basically just start taking what I think could end up being valuable. And I'm actually going to take Robbie Anderson. I'm going to take Robbie Anderson here. I know I don't love his landing spot after the trade.
But I like it in the 12th round.
I like it in the 12th round. I like Robbie Anderson as a player. I'm cool with that. That makes me happy.
We go back. Dustin Martin looks like he is on auto pick.
He gets the Steelers defense. So we've got 3 picks left here on sleeper. Are we?
Drew
Do you know?
Lock.
Are we required to take a defense and a kicker?
You are not.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This sleeper slowly becoming my favorite app to use.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not yet. Sleeper, hit me up. We could get a sweet sleeper sign back here.
Speaking of sleeping, Justin woke me up this morning, everybody.
Yeah, I was excited. It's mock
He
draft
was excited.
Time. I was lots. Up. Well, not lots of sleep. I got like 5 hours of sleep.
I was at that point in my book where it was like, dude, you need to finish this thing. But it was also like, you're going to be up late, though. Sorry. And I needed more sleep. Justin woke me up.
I'm sorry, but Sammy Watkins goes off the board. I like him this late.
Dude, Rashad Penny in the 12th round.
The mighty have fallen.
But Rashad Penny, the thing is the injury, right? If he comes back and is healthy, and Joel got him in the 12th round, that could end up being like the pick of the draft.
Yeah, my only fear though is that they brought in Hyde there, and it's making it a pretty crowded backfield at this point.
12th round.
Yeah, but you're sitting on him for I don't know how long before he's healthy.
Man, all these guys going 2 quarterbacks.
Well, I think a lot of the you see this a lot with people, especially that aren't as into fantasy as we are. Like as you get towards the tail end, they just kind of leave because they're like, oh, what's the point like of the last couple rounds? Because that's where you
Yeah.
get your depth, and that's what's going to win you your league. Like those subtle things that increase your chances of winning just slightly.
Right. Right.
And now we go to defending champ. Defending champ is auto drafting as well, so I'll make that for him. T. Higgins, I actually like that there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joel
Preston
takes
Williams.
Preston Williams. That's a good one. A lot of so about Miami's wide receivers. They're all injured last year, so we got to see one. They had one healthy wide receiver basically, and he feasted. So now, as you see these wide receivers all back, you're going to see a little bit more of the ball being spread around, and some more wide receivers having fantasy relevance there, which I think is awesome. I'm excited for that. I think it hurts Devontae Parker a little bit, but also you have the Magic Man there just slinging the ball, which doesn't hurt anyone.
The Magic Man.
Your pick, Perry.
Yeah, I'm just looking here.
I should probably start doing that, huh?
Yeah, you should probably start looking. I am running out of time here. I think I'm going to go with Naheem Hines.
I liked him, but I was like, I don't think he's coming back to me.
Yeah, he's the third running back, but he is the pass catcher on
Jerick
that team.
McKinnon just went off the board. I actually was considering taking him in a round or two.
A round or two would be the end of the draft.
Yeah. I'm going with Zach Moss from Buffalo, rookie running back there. Again, taking a shot on a guy. I don't expect him to be the number one running back there, but he could still have some production. And then also, there's a chance he could end the season as the running back there.
Right. All right. We're going. This guy's auto drafting. Just auto draft him.
Yep.
All right. Fantasy.
I'm surprised that it
tap.
just now auto draft a defense for him. He goes Chase Claypool. That's awesome. I like that pick.
Yeah. That's a good pick.
N'Keal Harry. Again, I like that one too. A lot of upside. He gets his kicker, Will Lutz. And it comes back to me now. I got Ito Smith up here, Perry. I will not be grabbing him this year. I'm going with Giovanni Bernard. I have Joe Mixon, and I think if Joe Mixon gets hurt, Giovanni Bernard could be very relevant.
I feel like Ito Smith wouldn't be a terrible pick this late, and considering that he's backing up Todd Gurley.
Yeah, that's probably accurate, but I'd rather have Giovanni Bernard with me having
Sure.
Joe Mixon.
Okay, looking at who's available here, I'm gonna go with Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, very deep wide receiver.
I can guarantee you have the number 2 wide receiver in Carolina right now.
I definitely. Yeah.
Man, Dustin here got Ben Roethlisberger with his last pick. I'm all out on Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh man, I want Ben Roethlisberger to be good because it's good for the entire fantasy value of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not willing to bet on him.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, yeah, I would love it if he was great. Like, I loved Juju 2 years ago,
Right.
But I'm not willing. Exactly. I don't think that's the case. And I think that he's at the end of his career, very end of his career. And we'll see that decline at a very steep rate.
Definitely.
D.D. Westbrook to Joel. I like that pick a lot. He could be the wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville.
Looking back, that probably would have been a better pick than Curtis Samuel for me. So that's what mock drafts are for. Like, that's why we do this.
I love Joel's last 2 picks, like, a lot.
Had now, when I do this again, if it falls, hey, Curtis Samuel or D.D. Westbrook, I'd probably go D.D. Westbrook. like, I'm humble enough to know that I learned something there.
I
New
can.
England Patriots
I'm
goes off
very
the board.
stubborn. That's why I do like 4 mock drafts, because after 4 or 5 times of it happening, I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to change that.
Okay, so the 2 defenses that I was considering grabbing just left. So I will probably not be drafting a defense.
I'm looking. I think the defense that I like is actually still on the board. No, they are not. When did they go?
You want to start auto drafting for these guys,
Oh yeah,
Justin?
sorry. Remind me if I don't do it immediately. There we
Joel
go.
here. Let's see how Joel rounds out his team. I think he's had a really good draft. Boston Scott. All right. Boston Scott.
I'm okay with that. I was
I'm
considering
fine.
it,
Totally fine with that.
especially this late.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams. It's a decent.
Decent last pick. All right. My last pick here. Who will it be?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to answer that.
I was really hoping you'd tell me. It's actually going to be Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Okay.
Poor
Oh,
Larry falling that far.
He's always productive. I mean,
know.
he
Brashard
always does
Perryman
something.
goes to Denny. Okay, he's on the Jets. Maybe he can be the wide receiver 1 there. We'll see.
All right. Robbie Gold.
Yeah, it comes back to me. My defense did not go yet, so I'm actually grabbing them with Tampa Bay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That is a sleeper pick right there.
I know. And like I think that they're going to be sneaky good. They had the sack leader last year.
Yeah. OJ Howard, and the last pick of the draft is Jack Doyle. Was that his first tight end? No, it's his second tight end.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Ooh, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So thank you for everybody that participated. An extra thank you for everybody that stayed the whole time. And we'll be doing more of these, definitely. Not every week, but we'll be doing more of them, definitely. Here in the next month or so, Justin and I will be ramping back up to 2 episodes a week as we get closer to the season. We got a lot to cover. We got to do our positional episodes. We got sleeper episodes. We got bust episodes. We got all kinds of stuff coming. So please stay tuned. Please support us. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. I know Justin's working very hard to build that Instagram, and every follow helps. Please like and comment on this video. Please go to the link below to buy our merchandise. And please have a wonderful, wonderful day.